This lesson on quotation marks comes from the 8th grade Houghton Mifflin English book. Begin a direct quotation with a capital letter. Use a comma to separate the quotation from the rest of the sentence. When a divided quotation is two separate sentences, you must capitalize the first word of the second part and capitalize all important words in a title. So let's try this. Mr. Romero asked, is Australia a country? Well, his actual words are, is Australia a country? So we quote the outsides, and is Australia a country is a question, so the question mark goes within the quotation marks. Then I need a comma to separate asked from what he's actually saying. And let me grab a pen here because I have to capitalize is, because is Australia a country starts his quotation. Yes, replies Lauren. Lauren is actually saying yes, so I need to put quotes around what she says, and I need to separate it with a comma. Mr. Romero asked, is Australia a continent? His actual words are, is Australia a continent? I need to separate it with a comma. The quotation goes after the question because is Australia a continent is an actual question. And then I need to capitalize the I in is because that starts his quotation. Howard answered, I'm not sure. His actual words are, I'm not sure. And so I need a comma to separate answered from the statement. Please reply, said Mr. Romero, if you know the answer. His actual statement is, please reply if you know the answer. And since if you know the answer is not a sentence, we do not have to capitalize that part of it, but we do need to set it off with commas. So comma on each side of said Mr. Romero. Anne said that Australia has had an unusual history. Because of the word that, she said that Australia has an unusual history. That is an indirect quotation, so you do not put quotation marks. That's right, said Mr. Romero, it is a country and a continent. His actual statement is, that's right, it is a country and a continent. And since it is a country and a continent as a sentence, the it needs to be capitalized, which it already is, and we need a comma after that's right. You have a period here, so you do not need a comma. Did Mr. Romero say, tell me more about Australia? His statement is, tell me more about Australia, and since that is not a question, the quotation marks go before the question mark. Tell me more about Australia is a sentence. And then we need a comma after say, and since the beginning of his quote is the word tell, we need to capitalize the T. Now let's look at some titles. All of these titles, short story magazine article, song, poem, book chapter, they are all quoted. So we're going to put quotes on either side of these, and we're going to capitalize the important words, looking and kiwi. The Extraordinary Animals of Australia, we capitalized the Extraordinary Animals Australia. Waiting for the boat to take me there, we capitalize waiting, boat, take me there. In the station, we capitalize in and station. The raising of sheep in Australia, capitalize T, the R in raising, sheep in Australia. All about New Zealand, we're going to capitalize everything in here. All about New and Zealand. Coming of age in the outback, coming, age, outback. Australia and Tasmania, Australia, Tasmania. The first people to settle Australia, the first people, settle in Australia. The Ballad of Botany Bay, the Ballad, Botany, and Bay. The Voyages of James Cook. Again, we capitalize the because it's the first word, and then all of the important words, Voyages, James, and Cook. The Kangaroo Hop. We're going to capitalize everything, the kangaroo and hop. Australia's mammals with, I think that's supposed to be pouches, sorry. Australia, mammals, pouches. And scent of the eucalyptus. We're going to capitalize scent because it's the first word, and eucalyptus because it's a noun.